You know, if you wander deep into a German forest, you might just find a castle that looks like it's been pulled right out of a fairy tale. I mean, it's so perfectly preserved. This is Burg Eltz, a fortress that has somehow managed to stand against centuries of war, change, and, well, the steady march of time itself.
But what's truly mind-blowing about this place isn't just how it looks. It's the story inside those walls. For over 900 years, this castle has been owned by the exact same family. Yeah, you heard that right. 33 generations living under one very, very old roof.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth is that even possible? What kind of secret sauce, a mix of luck, clever strategy, maybe just pure stubbornness, allowed one single family and their home to last for almost 1,000 years? Okay, to unravel this mystery, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to look at where this incredible story starts and see what kind of foundation this legacy was really built on.
So, picture this. We're in Wirschgem, Germany. The castle is tucked away in this deep valley with the Elsbach River wrapping around it on 3 sides. It's this secluded, naturally fortified position that gave it its first major advantage against, well, pretty much everyone.
But a great location isn't everything, you know? It doesn't guarantee you'll survive. The castle itself had to be tough. And if you look closely, its very stones tell a story of incredible endurance. And this place wasn't just built overnight. No, it started way back in the 12th century as this classic medieval stronghold. But then it just kept evolving. Each new generation added something. New towers during the Renaissance, grand halls in the Baroque period, creating this really unique, layered castle we see today.
And get this, when we talk about defense, we're talking serious defense. At their thickest point, the walls are 10 meters thick. 10! That's about the length of a school bus. It was basically an impenetrable shield made of solid stone.
What you end up with is this living museum of architecture. You've got this strong Romano-Gothic core, and then it gets softened up with these huge, sweeping Baroque additions, and then inside you find all these delicate, intricate Rococo details. It's like a historical mashup, but for a castle.
So, the outside is obviously super impressive. But what's been hiding inside all this time? Come on, let's step through the gates and check out the treasures this fortress has been guarding for centuries.
First up, the Great Hall. This room was the absolute heart of the castle, its social and political hub. You can almost feel it, right? The centuries of feasts, the big meetings, the major decisions that were all made right here under these incredible high ceilings.
And if we go a little deeper inside, we find the chapel. And wow, it's like this little jewel box of Baroque art. The detail in the carvings, the beautiful frescoes. It just goes to show you this wasn't just a place for defense. It was a place of deep faith and a real appreciation for art.
And then there's the treasury. It holds this amazing collection built up over all those generations. And we're not just talking golden jewels here. We're talking rare books, priceless art, and even artifacts that go all the way back to the Roman Empire. Just incredible.
All of this, the building, the art, the history, it all connects back to that one family. But their story in our modern world, well, it has a pretty interesting twist.
So here's where it gets really fascinating. Yes, the Eltz family has owned the castle for 900 years, but today it's also considered a public institution. It's managed in a partnership with the German government as a museum that's open to everybody. This mix of private legacy and public duty is a huge reason it's so well preserved today.
And that makes perfect sense, because Burg Eltz was never just some isolated fortress on a hill. For hundreds of years, it was the beating heart of the entire region, a center for community, for faith, and for local government.
You can imagine, keeping a place like this standing requires non-stop work. The family, and now public institutions, have poured just a ton of effort into restoration to make sure this castle doesn't just survive, but that it really thrives for all of us to experience.
So, how does a medieval castle even fit into the 21st century? Well, as it turns out, it's become more famous than ever.
Get this, more than 100,000 people visit Burg Eltz every single year. It's gone from being this private, formidable fortress to one of Germany's most beloved attractions, a real-life fairy tale that you can actually walk right into.
Its fame is even spread worldwide. You might have seen its iconic towers pop up in huge productions like Game of Thrones or The Da Vinci Code. It's also a living, breathing cultural center, hosting a big annual festival that fills these ancient halls with music and art.
Okay, and here is one last absolutely wild fact for you. With all this history, all this beauty, and its massive cultural impact, you'd think Burg Eltz would absolutely be a UNESCO World Heritage Site, right? Wrong. Incredibly, it's not. That's a truly amazing detail for a castle this important.
So when you look at it all, the thick stone walls, the priceless art, this incredible unbroken history, you start to realize its survival wasn't just about stone and mortar. It was about family, about community, and this constant shared effort to keep a story alive. A castle might be built of stone, but a legacy? It seems like that's made of something much, much stronger.